Hey everyone, today I'm just gonna do another what I hope is a quick hit.
Nope.
I'm gonna work on this propane locker. I started cutting out the wood for that, if you recall, when I was building these cabinets, and then I stopped. And this is not only gonna be a propane locker, but if you look at the floor here, I've got a very light line of a curved angle here. So this is gonna be a small cabinet. And the propane locker is only going to be 24 inches high. So I'm going to have an additional space up here that I'm going to figure out, in the van, you don't want to waste any space. So I'm going to build in the propane locker. And then up here, I think I'm going to make a drawer. And then down here, from here down in this little corner, I think I'm going to make a curved cabinet. And of course, I've never made a curved cabinet before. So I've been looking at how to bend wood, looking at other products that I might use for the face of that curb, just, trying to bat around some ideas. But I'm going to start with the propane tank locker first. That feels like something that I can actually finish today.
Nope.
Bought some mounting hardware which just arrived, so I'm going to put that in the inside the tank, and I'll use that to, hold the tank in place. It's got a strap and some mounting hardware. So that's what I'm going to get started with today, and we'll see how that goes. It seems okay. I think I'm going to run with that. Here's our curve for the shelf. So we're going to cut that with our jigsaw now. Smooth that in. That's what we've got. So I'm thinking this will be a drawer, or two drawers maybe, because it's pretty deep. Well, at least one drawer. And then down here, I'm going to build some of these curved shelves in here, and I think I'll have a door over all of this. The next thing that I'm going to do, actually, let me step back outside here. Can't wait till my Nerf bars are in. I'm going to cut an access panel in here. Should have done it before I mounted the board. I got overzealous and just started gluing things together, but I want to be able to shut off the propane tank while I'm in the van. Over here, I'll have a door that opens so I can, refresh the propane tank. Got to cut a hole for the oven, so I'm going to bring the oven and fit that in. And then I also have to cut a hole somewhere back here probably for the vent outside. Propane is apparently a heavy gas, so if there's a leakage, you want it to be able to go down through the floor, out of your van. Okay, I found these in my garage. I like them because they're button head, so they'll be flat on this side where I'm going to have the shelves. So that's what we're going to use. I'm going to drill a hole for that now and get that mounted. Okay, now we'll vacuum that out. I think I'm going to use the cap from my screw box because my hand fits in there nice, that's perfect. So I think I'm going to use that for a template for the hole that I'm going to cut in here. I'll have a hinge here, and I bought a hasp clasp to go here. I'm wishing that I would have cut this hole before I mounted the board. I drilled a little hole just so I can fit my jigsaw blade in there. And what I did was I put it where the hinge is going to go. Well, I have to say maybe this isn't my best work, but I think that I can patch things up. I overcut there, which is unfortunate, and same thing there, but I'll probably put wood filler in it or something, and I got to sand all this up, but that's what it's going to be. We're going to have a little door there that I can reach my hand into so I can turn the propane off. I'll fix this up so it's prettier somehow. But what we're going to do next is I'm going to caulk all these seams. And that's it. Just trying to create that airtight seal. So I'm going to go ahead and get started caulking. Oh, and what I got was, I actually got a siliconized acrylic. I didn't go for full silicone and I didn't go for full acrylic. This is kind of a, I guess, a happy medium. I think we got her. Yeah, it looks good. I originally installed a small plastic tube in the back of my propane tank until one of my girlfriends said, the diameter doesn't look wide enough. And so I had been looking at the National Fire Protection Association codes, and actually what they require is copper piping, and I think it's a 1/2 inch. So I did back the truck up a little bit and decided to go with a larger hole, although I did not pursue copper. This is what I got for the pipe. This is, what do they call it? Type Apex. I drilled a small hole in it and I'm going to screw it into the plywood lip. And then we'll fill in, obviously, with sealant. And then I'm going to use a heavy epoxy under the van. It's what I use to patch all the holes in the van. And that'll absolutely hold this in place. This is the epoxy putty that I bought that I'm going to use underneath the van. I use it to patch all the holes in the van floor. It's really great. It just, hardens to a rock, and it's a great sealer. And then these are the hinges that I got. These are for the large door out here that I'll have, for the entrance to the propane tank. And then the smaller one I'm going to use up here. And then I ordered a black hasp lock that's coming. I haven't received that yet. It should arrive today. I know this is a little hokey, but I cut this from a cap. I think it was off of a jar of zip ties. And I cut a slice in it, and then I drilled a hole in it. And what I'm going to do is put it around this. I'm going to put it right up in there to seal that. That was my thinking. I'll probably screw it on. I'm not going to put it on yet because I'm not quite ready. But what I am ready for is to cut the back of this cabinet. And then I'm also going to put an access hole right in here so I can get in here and, take this on and off as I need to. So we're all ready to cut. All the measurements have been laid out. Time to cut. I already created a cardboard template of the slider door wall. It's pretty, pretty funny. So I'm gonna cut that out and then double check it against the van and then transfer it onto here and cut it with my skill saw. I guess it's easier to cut the template than to have to try to fit the wood later. All right, we're getting there now. All right, there it is. Let's hope it fits. I've shared my successes and my failures with you, so I'm going to put you along here and we're going to see how this one fits and we're going to hope for a success. Might as well keep sharing. Let's put it up there, slide it in. Oh man, some really, really small gaps, but, and why is it, it's too tall, something's not right. I didn't measure the height right. I'm gonna have to cut a little bit off the top because it's supposed to be 35 inches. It goes above my counter. And actually, it's also supposed to be over here. So, yeah, no, it's not good. Nuts. I didn't measure something right. Dang it. All right, we got to take another, whatever this is, off the top. Okay, back to the drawing board. It happens. I have measured this second cut over and over and over. They say measure twice, you know, cut once. I swear to God, I did that on the first one, but now I'm like triple, quadruple measuring, and I hope it's right because I'm ready to cut it out now. Knock wood. Nervous. I'm nervous. Okay. Sand this down just a bit and we'll run it over there, and I'm not sure I even want to show you, but I'll take you along for the ride. It's just a van. It's just a van. Let's get all that sawdust off. All right, come along. Please fit. Let me get you where you can see. Hopefully that's good right there. Please fit. Don't embarrass yourself twice. Slide it up. Oh. All right. Better. Much, much better. All right. I cut the door out. I put a little trim along here. It's set back. It's a little bit hard to see. This one might be better, but I just set it back again, just like I did in here, because I'm going to be putting some of this in here for the seal on the door. So let's fit that up there. Here's where we are. I cut this piece. It fits in there so nicely, but the door doesn't shut. And it's not quite sitting back as far as this in here. It comes out, you know, just a bit. So I've had some thought about using a thinner piece of wood to finish this off, and I've been doing some measurements and looking at that, but I'm not sure that I want to do that. I think, honestly, what I'm going to do is leave a gap along here so that that seal can happen. It seems like it's not hitting in here, but it seems like it's all about the seal, and it is so close. I can, you know, slam the door and it'll go shut, but we don't want that. So I'm deliberating, but that's where we are. I've got everything all cut out, and I was just getting ready to, you know, mount it in, and I thought, well, I'll just test the door and make sure that it can shut, and it doesn't. Not well anyway. It just doesn't shut easily, I should say. So we're pondering other options. Well, after lots of deliberation, I decided to keep the piece of wood that I had. The door won't go back any farther, but what I did was I just cut it back so there was a little gap here, and that seems to be enough for the door to close. So maybe there's pressure or something there, but that's how I resolved it. This is an access panel, so I can get to the back of this. Maybe I'll cover that with something, but for now, that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and mount this piece, and then this will be the door to the propane tank, which will open up this way. So I'm gonna mount this piece. I'm not even really sure I want to film this, but when I went to put the hinges on the door down here, they actually did hit the sliding door. So it's like I've got to take everything back probably that much. It was tight, and I could have moved everything forward, but it seems easier to take. I took off everything. I had to chisel stuff off that I had glued on. But I'm gonna try to take, you know, that much off of everything. And this is my most important panel because this is the one that'll show. So I'm disappointed, but I'm gonna try to use my cutoff tool to get in here and cut this off, and I'll sand it down, hopefully straight, and these will be hidden. So fingers crossed. I guess you do what you gotta do. Can't tell you how disappointed I was about having to do this. One of my pet peeves is having to do things twice. not like, I don't like to do things twice, but this was I got a hair on my face. This was the best option of all the options that I considered. So that's what we're doing. And actually, I do think this is gonna work. Seems like this is cutting a pretty good edge. Clearly, I'm not a van build professional, and I've probably ruined all my chances of ever becoming one if I had those aspirations. The old McDonald's motto, clean as you go. So we're gonna clean up. All right, now we're gonna trade out the vacuum for a sander and smooth these edges in and put everything back together. Okay, nothing is screwed in at this point. I've just been measuring the depth, but this used to be flush with this outer wall, so I was able to set it back that far, and I'm hoping that that does the trick. I think I'm going to clamp it up and see if the door will shut easier. The tank still fits. There was not a lot of additional space for me to take off, so I've got one nail in here, and this is just sitting in here. Now we're going to do the closing the door test. Here we go. See how easy it closes. Push. Yes. That was it. Such a small difference, but that was it. Well, since it works, it was all worth it. So, lesson learned to others watching. Measure like 20 times, not twice. Not twice cut once, 20 times. I've got all the trim drying here, and this is what the rubber gasket goes up against, so that'll fit in there. Well, be snugger, but we'll fit that in there all the way around. And I got to do one across the bottom here, and then that's how the door seals. And while that's drying, I am going to take my epoxy. This is what I mentioned before. This is what I used to fill all the holes that were in the van floor. Essentially, you mix equal parts of A and B together, and you can see it's a putty here. Two different colored putty. You just mix those together, and then it's like Play-Doh. You can shape it however you want to. So I'm going to use some of that to seal the hole that I created under the van, just to wrap around the pipe that's down there. Okay, I've got these both opened up, and they recommend that you wear gloves while you're doing this. Basically, a chemical reaction occurs when you mix these two putties together. So I'm just going to twist some off. Like I said, I'm not going to need much. Try to get equal part. Let's see. One's a little softer. And then we just mix these two together. And once they're fully mixed, you've got about 30 minutes working time, it says. So I just keep twisting it together. I think that's pretty good. We're going to head under the van now. You can come with me. Okay, here's what it looks like after I applied the putty. Looks good. That'll dry solid as a rock. All right, the oven's in. I did not take a video of that, but there are screws here that you undo in order to lift up the top. And then within the range top, there's 4 screws in each corner that you use to mount to the wood panels. And then there's 2 additional mounting screws down here, 1 on each end. And that's it. But it's a good fit. Nice, really nice. Okay, all done with the exception of a few finishing touches. The mounting brackets that I ordered to hold this door shut, I don't like them. They were really flimsy. So I've ordered some new ones. They're not quite here. Same with this one. I actually put it on, which is unfortunate, but I don't like it. So I'm going to order a new one for that. that door. And I have to put a cover on this. I think I'm just going to put a plastic flap or something that I can just lift up. The other final thing that I'm going to do that I haven't done is when I actually connected all this, the tension was really tight no matter which position I put the tank in. So I'm going to drill a new hole down a little farther so that can hang a little freer. And then I'll plug that hole up. But otherwise, finally it's done and it seems functional and I'm feeling good about it. Hey everybody, I think it's about time for a cup of tea. There we go, it's ready. Cheers.